Welcome back to Robots vs. Vampires. I'm Adrian Smith, and we're diving into this world of epic sci-fi and fantasy tales,
And I'm Julia Jones.
where that line between fact and fiction gets kind of blurry.
Definitely.
And today, we are going to a world where vampires are attending high school.
We are going to Eclipse Academy, a very unique school where humans and vampires coexist, attending classes by day and night.
This is not
For typical high school drama.
Right, exactly. There's a tension. You can feel it. It's like a human vampire war could just erupt at any moment.
And what I find so interesting is how the author kind of juxtaposes the very ordinary aspects of high school life with this extraordinary existence of vampires. It's this clash between the mundane and the supernatural.
Right, and it makes this world so intriguing, I think.
Absolutely. And at the center of it all is Liv. She's a human student who's drawn to the macabre. She's not afraid of the vampires. In fact, she's fascinated by them. I think it stems from a desire to just understand the unknown. You know, Liv represents that part of us that just yearns to look beyond the surface, to challenge what we think we know.
And that's what leads her to Alexei.
Yes.
A captivating vampire senior who is not your stereotypical bloodsucker.
No, not at all. He's described as having this scent of spiced tea
Yeah.
and old books.
That's not what I think of when I think of a vampire.
That sensory detail is so important. It immediately challenges your expectations, right?
Right.
And it suggests a more nuanced, perhaps even intellectual side to Alexei. Like,
Right.
what kind of vampire
Yeah.
reads old books and smells like spiced tea?
Spiced tea and old books. I mean, come on.
Exactly. It just piques your curiosity.
And it's this shared interest in the macabre, this fascination with the darker side of life that draws Liv and Alexei together.
Yeah, like a unique...
They even spend time in the library
Yes.
discussing theories on the Moroi.
It's great. Their connection goes beyond a simple crush, though. It's like a shared intellectual curiosity, a recognition of kindred spirits.
Right.
That transcends their human and vampire differences.
But then things take an interesting turn.
Oh, here we go.
When Liv discovers Alexei's snack,
No.
a pouch of pig's blood. He's not keen on feeding on humans,
Really?
especially not Liv.
That's interesting. This detail raises some questions about their ethical code. If they have access to animal blood, does that imply a conscious effort to coexist peacefully
With humans.
with humans?
It certainly seems that way.
Right.
And this creates a moral dilemma for Liv because, on the one hand, she's been raised by a monster-hunting father
Oh, wow.
who has instilled in her a deep fear of vampires.
Sure.
But on the other hand, she's experiencing this genuine connection with Alexei,
Right.
seeing a side to him that contradicts everything she's been taught.
It's that internal conflict that I think is so relatable. We all grapple with preconceived notions versus personal experiences, challenging our own biases, being open to seeing the world through different lenses.
And ultimately, Liv chooses to trust her instincts, her own experiences.
Okay.
She takes a bold step and drinks the blood,
Wow.
which creates this powerful bond between them.
This act is more than just a physical exchange. It symbolizes a willingness to cross boundaries, step into the unknown, and embrace something that challenges her deepest fears.
And just when things seem to be settling into this somewhat normal routine at this unusual academy,
Yeah.
everything changes
Oh, no.
with the arrival of a vampire hunter.
Ah,
And you guessed it,
who is it?
it's Liv's father.
Oh my gosh, what a dramatic entrance.
Uh-huh.
Suddenly, Liv finds herself caught between two worlds,
Right.
the family she knows and the vampire community she's beginning to understand.
The tension is palpable.
I bet.
The vampires,
Yeah,
sensing danger,
right.
they react with a feral tension that contrasts sharply with their usual elegance.
Yeah.
Liv's father, armed with crossbows
What?
and holy water grenades,
Oh my goodness.
is ready for a showdown.
Wow.
And Liv,
Oh.
she's caught right in the middle, desperately trying to prevent a bloodbath.
It's a pivotal moment that forces Liv to confront her loyalties. Will she side with her family or with the vampires she's come to care about? It's a question that's sure to keep us on the edge of our seats.
Definitely.
As we continue this story in part 2,
Welcome back to Robots vs. Vampires.
Yeah.
We left off with Liv facing an impossible choice. Her monster-hunting father standing ready to attack the vampires at Eclipse Academy, and the vampires themselves poised to defend their home.
it's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Something terrible is about to happen, but you can't tear your eyes away. The author does such a fantastic job of building that suspense.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel the weight of Liv's predicament.
Absolutely. You can practically feel the air crackling with tension.
Mm-hmm.
On one side, you have Liv's father,
representing centuries of fear and prejudice against vampires. He's a symbol of those deeply ingrained beliefs that often fuel conflict and misunderstanding.
And on the other side are the vampires, who are no longer just these figures of myth and legend.
Right.
They're individuals.
Yeah.
They're individuals with their own complexities,
That's sad.
their own fears and vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
They've built a community at Eclipse Academy,
Right.
a place where they can coexist, albeit uneasily, with the human world.
It's this clash of perspectives
Right.
that makes the situation so compelling. Liv, having experienced both worlds, is uniquely positioned to understand the motivations and anxieties of each side.
She becomes this bridge, this voice of reason in a moment of chaos. She steps directly between her father and the vampires, a single human girl.
Wow.
Facing down a seasoned monster hunter and a group of powerful supernatural beings.
It's an act of incredible courage, a testament to her belief in the possibility of peace and understanding.
Yeah.
She's not just protecting the vampires. She's defending this idea that people, even those with seemingly irreconcilable differences, can find common ground.
She pleads with the vampires to trust her,
Okay.
to believe that she can reason with her father. But how could she convince them to put their faith in someone who shares the blood of their sworn enemy?
It's a huge leap of faith, especially considering their history of persecution.
Right.
They've been hunted, demonized, forced into hiding for centuries. It's understandable that their first instinct is to defend themselves,
Right.
to fight back against this perceived threat.
And yet there's this flicker of hesitation, a moment where you can see them weighing their options.
Yeah.
Perhaps they see something in Liv, a sincerity,
Yeah.
a genuine desire for peace
Right.
that transcends their fear and suspicion.
Or maybe it's simply the shock of seeing their human classmates stand up to a seasoned vampire hunter. Regardless, this moment of indecision is crucial.
Right.
It's a crack in the wall of distrust, a glimmer of hope that Liv's message might be getting through.
But the question remains, will it be enough?
Right.
Can Liv convince both sides to lay down their arms, to choose dialogue over violence?
And even if she can, how will she navigate this complex emotional terrain of the situation?
Right.
She's not just dealing with a potential war.
Yeah.
She's grappling with the weight of her family's legacy, the expectations of her father, and this burgeoning connection she feels with Alexei.
It's a lot for anyone to handle.
Oh, yeah.
Especially a young woman who's just beginning to understand the complexities of the world. The story doesn't shy away from these emotional challenges, which makes Liv's journey all the more compelling.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that even in a world of vampires and monster hunters, the most powerful conflicts are often the ones that rage within ourselves. The struggle to reconcile our beliefs with our experiences, our loyalties with our desires, those are the battles that truly shape who we become.
Welcome back to Robots vs. Vampires. We are on the edge of our seats here. The tension at Eclipse Academy is so thick, you could cut it with a silver knife.
It's a real nail-biter, isn't it? Liv is standing between her father, armed and ready to take down any vampire in sight.
Right.
And the vampires themselves, who are showing incredible restraint in the face of such aggression.
It's a testament to Liv's impact on them, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they're clearly hesitant to attack, even with this very real threat to their safety. They're choosing to hear her out, to trust, maybe for the first time, a human who claims to understand them.
It speaks volumes about the power of empathy and understanding. Liv's actions, her willingness to put herself in harm's way for them have earned her a level of respect that transcends their ingrained fear and suspicion of humans.
But her father, he's a different story.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy who's dedicated his life to hunting creatures like Alexei,
Right.
viewing them as monsters,
Right.
threats to humanity.
Yeah.
Can Liv really bridge that divide,
That's the question.
that lifetime of ingrained prejudice?
It's a question that haunts this story and frankly echoes in our own world. How do we overcome deeply ingrained biases? How do we break down these walls of fear and mistrust that separate us from those we perceive as different?
The story doesn't offer easy answers, and I think that's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
It forces us to confront these uncomfortable truths, to acknowledge the complexities of a world where different beings, different ideologies clash.
Oh, exactly. There's no magic solution, no simple resolution. It's about challenging those ingrained beliefs,
Right.
having difficult conversations, and being willing to see the world through another's eyes. And that's what Liv is trying to do, to show her father that the vampires are not the monsters he believes them to be.
It's a long shot for sure.
It is.
But even if she doesn't succeed in changing his mind completely,
Yeah.
the fact that she started the conversation,
Right.
planted that seed of doubt, is a victory in itself.
Because sometimes that's all it takes. A crack in the armor, a moment of questioning,
Right?
to begin to chip away at those deeply held prejudices. And who knows, maybe down the line her father will be open to seeing the vampires and perhaps the world a little differently.
That's the hope, isn't it? That understanding can prevail even in a world where robots battle vampires, where humans and the supernatural collide. And that's where we leave this chapter of Robots vs. Vampires with a glimmer of hope, a sense that even in the face of darkness, understanding and acceptance can shine through.
Thanks for joining us on this thrilling ride. We'll be back soon with another epic story, another journey into the fantastical and unexpected.
Absolutely.
Until then, keep those imaginations running wild.